In the mist-shrouded cliffs of Scotland, where the land meets the relentless sea, a tale as dark as night was born. It's the story of Sawney Bean and his infamous clan, a family whose very name became synonymous with terror. Alexander Sawney Bean was not born into darkness, but he embraced it. Born to humble beginnings, Sawney found no joy in honest labor. Instead, he craved the thrill of violence, the taste of power over life and death. He found a kindred spirit in a woman as twisted as he was, Black Agnes Douglas. Together they fled into the wild, away from society's prying eyes, and began their life of unimaginable horror. In a coastal cave, hidden by the tides, Sawney and Agnes established their gruesome nest. The cave was a natural fortress, its entrance submerged by high tide, making it nearly impossible to find. Here, they began to raise a family, children born not of love, but of cruelty, and grandchildren the product of incestuous unions. Over time, the Bean clan grew to nearly 50 strong, each more savage and depraved than the last. For 25 years, the Beans thrived in the shadows, preying on travelers who wandered too close to their lair. The clan became experts in ambush, striking under the cover of night, dragging their victims into the darkness of the caves. Once inside, the fate of the unfortunate souls was sealed. They were butchered like livestock, their flesh preserved for the long winters, their bones discarded in the depths of the cave. The disappearances did not go unnoticed. Fear spread throughout the nearby villages as more and more people vanished without a trace. Rumors grew, stories of a savage family living in the wild, feasting on human flesh. But few believed such horrors could be true, dismissing them as mere superstition. The king's men searched the land, but Sawney Bean was cunning. The cave remained hidden, the Beans undisturbed in their gruesome rituals. It wasn't until a stroke of fate brought the Beans' reign of terror to an end. One evening, a young couple riding home from the nearby fair became their next targets. The Bean clan struck, dragging the woman from her horse, her screams piercing the night. But the man, a skilled fighter, drew his sword and fought with the ferocity of the desperate. His cries for help reached the ears of passing villagers, who rushed to his aid. For the first time, the Beans were outmatched. The villagers, horrified by what they had witnessed, took the surviving man to the king. Furious, King James VI himself led the search party, determined to rid his kingdom of this unspeakable evil. The soldiers scoured the land, combing through the forest and the coastlines until they finally discovered the cave, hidden, dark, and reeking of death. What they found inside defied all comprehension. Piles of bones littered the ground, the remaining of hundreds of victims. Human flesh hung from the walls, preserved in salt, a grotesque testament to the clan's depravity. The Beans, caught off guard, were dragged from the cave, their eyes wild with the realization that their time had come. There was no trial for the Bean clan. The king's justice was swift and merciless. The men were executed on the spot, their limbs torn from their bodies. A fitting end for those who had inflicted so much suffering. The women and children, equally guilty, were burned at the stake, their screams echoing throughout the hills, a final chilling note to a dark chapter in Scotland's history. But the legend of Sawney Bean did not die with the clan. Their story was whispered in taverns and around campfires, a warning of the darkness that lurks in the human soul. Some say the cave still exists, hidden along the Ayrshire coast, its entrance sealed by time. But those who know the tale warn against seeking it out, for who knows what remains beneath the rocks, waiting in the darkness, hungry for revenge. So, if you ever find yourself walking along the cliffs of Scotland and the wind carries with it a faint chilling whisper, remember the tale of Sawney Bean and pray that his darkness never finds you.